Now let me show you a different way to work with gradients. And this way is more interactive and quite fun actually. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch, create a brand new document, and I'm going to move this over because we don't really need this one, but it is helpful to have it open. And we're going to use this tool instead to create our gradient, the gradient tool. Once again, let's create a rectangle. And to start things off, I'm going to click here just to give it a start. All right, so we're going to have a gradient to begin our experiments with. Now we can click on the gradient tool. Now you'll notice something completely different from what we're used to. We have this bar now, and the bar is actually this bar. And it works the same way, but it has a few more tricks up its sleeve. So for now, I'm going to take this and move it out the way. What we can do to add some more sliders or stops, like we could down here, is to click on the bottom of this little guy here. And now we have new stops. I can double click on it. Same thing. And this is a little bit more interactive, I think, because you're not really dealing with a panel, but you're working directly inside the artwork itself. I'll go ahead and hit escape to get rid of this dialog box. But there's a lot more to this particular tool. You see we have these little ends here. Well, if I click on this end, I can move the entire bar. And I can determine where the gradient is going to start. So I can say I want it to start over here. And I want more of that dark color, so I'll move it over here. And I might have gone too far, and I want more yellow, so I'll move it back over here. It's a really nice way of working. I can also take this, by the way, and do the same thing. Click on a stop and just drag it off the bar. Another thing I could do with this is I can take these guys, just like I could with the other bar, and change how the gradient is going to be represented in our artwork. So I can put more black, I could put more gray, and I can add more white, and so on. And of course I can add a color right in the middle. What else can I do with this bar though? Well, I can even rotate a gradient. So I can go to this end, and as I put my mouse just a little bit past the end here, I get a rotation icon or a little cursor here, and I can click and I can rotate the gradient right on inside my shape. And I can go ahead and grab this end and then reposition it and then move my stops. As I said before, this is way more interactive because you're inside the artwork instead of having to keep going over here and changing things. So if you want to, of course you can do the same thing here. These guys are linked. They're the same exact tool with just different functionality. I can also scale the gradient. So I can go to this end and click, and I can drag this bar down to scale the little bar here and change the way the gradient is represented as well. So I can rotate, I can scale, and I can move, and I can even, as you saw there, add more stops by simply clicking, adding colors, and so on. So this is just a different way of working with the gradients when you're working inside of your artwork.